Oh, God.
Can you explain?
Post race bedtime, 2:15.
Can either one of you explain why I'm the poorest out of us three, and I'm springing from a hotel room on Saturday night? Can any of you guys explain why I paid for that room?
It's self-explanatory. It's why you're the poorest.
Because I'm too stupid and I pay for rooms?
Well,
yeah, something like that.
I wasn't planning on staying in a room, but then my mechanic and father decided they needed to leave like right after the race, so I had no. And then I was like, then I was going to stay with Hedgie, and then I don't know where he went. I clearly wasn't too concerned because I wasn't going to stay very long. I didn't think. And then you were standing around. I'm like, I'm just going to hang out with you guys. Then I didn't realize that JT was staying with you too.
Right.
Okay. That's how that went.
And then why were you freaked out about sharing a bed with JT? And you decided to sleep in the middle between the two beds?
Well, which probably it made me a little nervous when you were like rolling around because I was kind of in a vulnerable position. If you fell off that bed, it could have been not good for me.
Right. So
catastrophic.
So that's why you should have.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You should have snuggled in with JT. One guy on top of the sheets, one guy underneath the sheets. Right?
Yeah. At that point, it's just like, dude, I really need to think about getting my own room. I was just kind of chilling. I was just counting how many times you snored, which is at least a few thousand.
It's pretty strong, for sure. He's flexing the door.
Well, I'm paying for the room. No one's paying me back, so I can do whatever I want.
Speaking of that, our post-race pizza celebration that was the kickoff to your new healthier lifestyle.
Yeah.
How's it going?
It seems to be going well so far. Nick's like, you gotta eat better. Let's order a pizza. And I'm like, I thought you said I gotta eat better. He's like, I
was trying to get room service, and it was like an hour and a half, and you were like, bro, just get pizza. And I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to get it with no cheese then.
Yeah.
Dude, you're like, who gets pizza
like when somebody stops drinking, they just have a huge bender the night before.
You know, that's what I was thinking.
Great plan.
And I'm like, we'll have a celebration of the new lifestyle.
Well, let's celebrate the healthier lifestyle by eating a pizza right now. Right?
Yeah. Right
before bed. We'll just power this thing down.
The line of the night to me was, hey, JT, Nick's going to stay in our room tonight. And JT's like, what? You're a millionaire. Why would you share a room?
I don't have it. I didn't get the internet. I'm worried about other things, dude.
Clearly.
I'm getting sweated about bringing this sham.
You turned the internet off on your phone when you went to Canada. There again, you're a millionaire.
Exactly.
I'm hoping to be a millionaire well into my 40s.
There you go.
Oh, man. It's just comedy. Anyways, both of you guys, we're talking about Toronto a little bit. And, Nick, your Toronto went pretty good. Season high finish for you. Or maybe tied, but I think it was the best finish for you. So that's good.
Yeah, it went okay. I was happy with the way I rode. I mean, I would like to finish better, but
right.
I felt like I rode better for sure.
Was the track good? I liked the track. I thought it was awesome, but then again, I'm in Canada, so I think everything's awesome. But I thought it was good.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all. It's
right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, there was obviously some options in that rhythm lane, but it was kind of weird. It was like you could do some big stuff, but it really wasn't that much better than. I mean, I watched the race on TV yesterday, and I was shocked how much Barcia just messed it up the easy way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, because it got pretty tough to go, because on-off 3 whatever was like pretty fast, and then obviously Stewart and some guys were going over that other tabletop, which kind of came into play because the off of the tabletop was getting harder.
Were you going over the table in practice? Because lots of guys were doing that.
In practice, I just stuck to the main line, which I thought was going to be the fastest all day, which was on-off out of the corner.
Okay.
And then I messed the rhythm lane up a couple times in the semi.
Yeah.
Getting off the tabletop, and so I think at the beginning of the main, I started doing the over 3.
And then what was the deal with the whoops? What made them so tough? Were they just ruddy and like cupped out and soft? Is that kind of like?
Yeah, I don't know. It was they weren't that big.
No.
But they kind of like you would get. I don't know if that double set you up weird. It was like, because I saw a lot of guys looked like how I felt, like I was just riding the front end to them, and it was like you'd get in like the second or third, fourth whoop where you would like really get on the gas, and there would be some ruts. So that's kind of like where you would shoot you left or right, typically, or not like comfortable.
Because
So it had that going for him. That's for sure.
Because JT in the main event, the guys were struggling.
Yeah, you had to go to the jump. I'm a firm believer in that. And yeah, if you tried to still blitz them, you had no clue where you were going.
Right.
What I saw.
Pike was good in them, man. Pike had those things dialed, and I think it was just close your eyes and grab some throttle.
He's good at that.
Yeah, he was not scared at all. Pretty good.
He's good at that.
Mafia Moto Crew, Pulp Crew saves you 20%. I saw a bunch of guys wearing it this weekend, Nick. Probably big fans of yours. I saw some guys walking the concourses with it, so I'm sure they stopped by the truck if they could get in the pits and try to bro you down.
I mean, regardless of they're fans of mine, they're probably just repping their own crew.
Yeah, it could be. That's true. Yeah, screw your crew, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, Nick, so what RV did, not riding practice, have you ever done anything like that, even at a local Baja race?
Well, honestly, maybe the first 5 years of my entire racing career, I missed practice pretty much every time. I don't know if my dad decided he wanted to get to the race late or what was going on, but it was pretty normal for me to get my gear on in the truck on the way to the race. And my dad raced at the time, and I saw him race many times with jeans and a pair of work boots on.
Okay, so RV.
Well, I mean, clearly this isn't the same level.
I know. But
so at a professional event, no, I've never seen anybody ever skip practice and just line it up.
702-586-7857 if you have a question for Nick Way or JT or the great Tony Berluti. I understand that you told RV, like, hey, so it's a triple out of this turn, and I think you can go 4 here. Is that you kind of gave him some advice for the night show?
Well, I mean, obviously, it was one of those things at the beginning where, I could talk to JT because I trust him and his, riding over the years, be like, hey, what about this, that? Because obviously it was pretty obvious that the one triple by the tunnel was pretty far.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And then the other one was pretty short. And then the finish line's pretty much like you just coast the takeoff. And then you kind of need to be coached on, hey, if you want to go on-off down that rhythm lane, you need to go to this side because it's got a better lip on the tabletop or whatever. Right. That's kind of... him and I talked a little bit about that, but obviously having the semi was helpful for him.
Right. Yeah, it was impressive. I don't know. And then, of course, Thomas, James Stewart, that was... Did you think he was going to win? I thought after that start, JT, after the start, I'm like, there he goes. He's not going to win this. I really didn't think so.
I really didn't think so either because I didn't think he was overly impressive in his heat race either. I thought that kind of came out of nowhere, you know?
Right.
He had some really good laps in practice, but I did not see that coming at all just because I hadn't seen that really from him all day other than just flashes of brilliance here and there, but not consistent laps like that. Just, he was a lot better than everybody once he got going. So, no, I didn't see that coming.
Well, and I knew he was going to, because I had seen some video. I had some video of him doing that rhythm, the rhythm lane we talked about, the long lane where you could do it a few different ways.
Right.
And I had been behind somebody who had gone over 3 on the tabletop, or over the tabletop 3 or whatever. And it wasn't even faster, I didn't think. But then compared to if you raced the on-off. But then, so I had videoed James specifically.
Yep.
I had timed it 3 different ways in which he had gone. And obviously I got the section before where you go across the start and there was those 4 rollers and then the 3-2 and he was really impressive right there. So I figured he was going to be. I figured he was, because even just in that section from the corner after the finish line to the next corner, he had to have been close to a second faster than anybody right there.
Well, lots of people are going to talk about the 3-3 Berluti before the finish, after the finish. Yeah,
before the finish.
Before the finish, a lot of people are going to talk about that rhythm section and it going all the way over the table that a lot of guys weren't doing. But to me, whatever he was doing in that roller section, tap tap tap, and then 3, that was insane.
Well, I don't want to I don't want to discredit Barsha. I don't want to discredit Roxon.
Yeah.
But those guys were struggling. They were out front struggling. The point I'm making, those guys didn't get a real breakaway and get away,
Yeah.
I agree that Stewart was on it, but Stewart was superior than anybody that night because those front runners really weren't I don't think going that fast.
Well, Roxton went from first to fifth. That was weird.
Yeah.
You don't expect that.
Did you hear anything about that?
He said after the race that his legs got tired.
Okay.
He thought he might have did too much work during the week or something.
That's
but
possible.
His legs got tired. So, and then
Well,
Barsha.
because I thought the same thing, Berlut, because when I watched the race back, I saw, what they're talking about. There's a bunch of different ways to do that rhythm lane, and I said that I was pretty confident that going on-off 3 was the most consistent, and it was, if anything, it was like a wheel slower than going over 4.
Right.
And I watched on TV, and Barsha went to go on-off, and he clipped it off and then ended up doubling the whole section, probably 7 times.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw it quite a few times that he screwed the whole thing up.
Yeah, I mean, literally, it was probably 7 times.
And he cased it the one time really hard.
Yeah.
So just Berlut, James sucks? Is that
Not at all. He was just so far.
Yeah.
I mean, so where he started from,
Yeah.
it's not like at the beginning of the season when you had Reed, when you had some guys that had a breakaway.
RV at 100%, Chad out there, right.
And Dungey's not really killing it either right now. I don't know what the deal is there,
Yeah, he's solid.
He's solid,
but
yeah. Basically,
And to be honest, when I saw the 3-3 before the finish line on tape, I was like embarrassed that I didn't hit it because Stewart would come out of the corner and he would hit it so slow because he was obviously wanting to hit it in first gear.
Yeah, he lined up
to get the pop. Yeah, so he would like hit the corner so slow and then just be like, bleh. So he would obviously wind out in first.
Yeah.
So because to me, like on track walk and whatever, it looked far. And then once you got riding, to go 2-3 was super easy, but like the 3 had gnarly ruts. So like you're looking was like, well, it's hard one of those things where like maybe you overjump the double into the face of the 3 to time it. It's like, yeah, right, you're jumping into ruts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's sketch.
But once I saw on TV how slow Stewart hit it, I was embarrassed that I didn't hit it.
Brayton and Stewart were the only guys I saw do it. JT, did you see anybody else?
No, those are only 2.
Yeah, that's all. That's the only guys I saw doing it. Ken, what's up, man? You got some questions about a new bike setup?
Yeah, I was just wondering what the riders would recommend doing first as far as suspension, like trying it out. I mean, I'm nowhere near anything like we were watching this weekend. But when you on a new bike, I don't know. It's just kind of nervous, just hitting jumps and whoops and all. And
Racetech.com. Racetech.com, Ken. They'll dial you in. Are you like super heavy or super light? Are you what kind of weight are you in here?
No, I'm like around 175.
And what kind of bike you got?
I got a new YZ 450.
You're probably dialed for spring right, wouldn't you think, Nick?
Yeah, you would assume.
Yeah, you probably.
So it's pretty close.
Yeah, pretty close from there. You want to get your oil changed. The stock oil isn't great, so you'd want to get your oil changed after not too much time on the bike, racetech.com. And you'd want to grease your linkage. That's a Yamaha.
Why are we asking you? We got the expert in studio. Shouldn't we be talking to Berlut about this? I mean,
he's doing pretty good.
You moonlighted a little bit as a
moonlighted.
But
I took riders to the top.
You're cut out to be media.
Berluti and I took riders to the top. That's what we did. We're winners.
Well, that's why I called. I already did the greasing of everything up. I took it all apart, greased everything, put it all together. Now I'm just trying to get it dialed in and just wondering what's the best way to start out, making sure it's kind of neutral there before I end up on my head.
Seeing how you took everything apart, though, you should probably check your torque specs as to how you put it back together, because you could be affecting the way that she's handling right off the gate. Tell him, Berlut.
Okay.
Yeah, and for sure, make sure that you got your sag set right. You've obviously done that, right?
Yeah.
Well, it sounds like you're starting out the right direction.
Yeah, don't just
get
tighten
a lot of
those up.
differing ideas.
Are you from a cold weather region?
No, Florida.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Are you going to Croon? Is that where you're
pretty
going?
thorough with your setup. I'm into it.
Ken, don't just
awesome.
don't
You should
just,
make some crazy changes ASAP.
Yeah, exactly.
And then if that doesn't work, go the opposite direction all the way.
No matter how you feel on the day, it's got to be something with the bike. So just when in doubt, change something.
Absolutely, Ken. It is always the bike's fault. That's lesson number 1 for Nick Way. Lesson number 2 is refer to lesson number 1.
Well, congratulations, Nick, on getting close to that top 10. You'll get there soon.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, thanks. I'm trying hard.
Hey, Ken, and don't tighten down like Nick said. Don't tighten down the fork bolts with just don't just reef on them. Use your torque wrench. Get a good torque wrench Look at the torque.
Right,
specs.
I did that.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you're on it, bro.
So I'm trying.
You know what
I'm trying to
actually?
do it right.
You know what actually changes how she handles quite a bit is the pivot bolt torque. Tell him, Berlut.
Yeah, I don't on that. I'd about 50 pounds.
That's the Cowie. That's the Suzuki spec. The Cowie spec is 72, which is
Holy smoke! That's tight that's super tight.
Right?
Yeah, don't snap it
How about
off.
me knowing the Suzuki spec and not having ridden a Suzuki?
Oh yeah, you have.